Hey guys, welcome to another Getting Personal. Today there's a topic that I've always thought about and always go over, is that finding your passion. And this is often hard to do because I think we intertwine our passion for life with also possibly could be our addiction to things, not realizing that maybe we're doing these things thinking we're very passionate about it, but perhaps we're just addicted to something. Let's say if you really wanted to play games for a living, right? You wanted to be a professional playing games, but you suck at it. You realize that you're addicted to it. So I wouldn't even call this like a passion, I would call this an addiction. And oftentimes separating those two are really difficult. And realizing, well, if you're addicted to, let's say you're addicted to collecting shoes, and it's not really a passion thing, or you're not really looking at the shoe and finding out, where it was made or how you might make a shoe, or it's almost like there's a difference in between certain things and understanding certain things. And they generally say, they say your passion, you find your passion from the drive, and you could intertwine it to be an addiction, but like all addictions, they do fade, right? So, and they're not very healthy as also. So being addicted can work, but you have to question, if you're addicted to it, but you really suck at it, and you're no good at doing it, so then you should probably stop, right? And it's not saying that don't go towards what's really addictive, but be wary of that, pursuing that passion out of an addiction. And also, to find your passion, you would have to remember what excited you when you were a little kid. What interested you? What was the thing that took your attention? And it was really engaging with you. And as you get older, these things tend to change and morph, but there's always this underlying childlike interest in these things. When you look at children, they're doing any activity, they're just zoned in, they're fully engaged, and there's something about that. There's something about finding that. And we can be very distracted in this modern day. Also, you don't know if you have certain attention deficit disorders, and to really realize if you do have an attention deficit disorder, it doesn't mean you're not passionate about something. It just means you need to cope with that. And that's something that I want to discuss in another video. But finding your passion is that thing that gets you up, it gets you excited, and you're not thinking about the monetary value behind it. You're thinking about how you can help yourself get the most out of your life, and then also help others along with that. And that's something that is, I think it's very rewarding, and that's what keeps the wheel moving, keeps it going, and keeps moving forward, and you keep leveling up in that process. And you could keep going with it and branch off into a bunch of different things, but you should always remember, what is your passion and how do you find it? It's just really sitting down and just writing a list, going through it. Maybe write a list of 10 things that you really find interesting, and kind of mark them off from being a certain grade, how interested you are in doing those things, just to arrange the thoughts that you have, because you can be pretty scattered. Like we all tend to come up with ideas every day. We think, oh, that would be a good idea, this would be a good idea. And pulling the trigger on any one idea can be pretty daunting. It's like, you don't want to be pursuing something, especially if it is really just nothing at the end of it. And figuring that out is really difficult. So, just to recap on things, just make sure you're looking for that childlike interest in it, and it's not just a blatant excuse to kind of fill an addiction and I mean, I'm not saying all addictions couldn't be turned into a job, but you have to question an addiction is an addiction, and it's not controllable, so it's not rational. And I know I talked about rationality, and I would probably tie that into it. So, but yeah, finding your passion for life, it's a tricky one. It's generally something that interests you, and you don't mind sitting down and doing it and figuring out ways to improve it. And even if it's minute, you're constantly improving at what you do. It's really difficult for some people. Some people just get stuck, and I think it's really just comes to sitting down and writing a list, and then going through it and sticking to it for a bit, testing it out, and trying and failing. Right? Try one thing on that list and see if it has a remotely work for you. And I mean, you don't have to sink too much time in. You might only have to sink maybe 2 weeks of trying, and just to see what it is. I mean, at the end of it, you can just see and say if you want to post up the work, or you want to show somebody what you've done. After 2 weeks, you're probably going to gauge a little bit better if you're passionate about it and you have enough drive behind it, or if you're just simply curious about it. But it could take longer too. So it's really just sussing things out for yourself, thinking, and don't be distracted by anything else when you do it. Just sit down all by yourself and figure out what you like to do the most in your life, and what will be rewarding at the end of it. It will be difficult, like most things, but as you suss it out, hopefully the rewards will pay off for you. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I hope maybe it will help some of you guys. You guys can like and subscribe, and yeah, I hope you guys try and find your passion, because it's probably one of those difficult things, and it's always changing. You're always moving forward and evolving. So yeah, all right guys, I hope you all have a good one, and take care. See you guys.